Full time, Crystal Palace 4, Manchester United 0, and it is something I expected. If you watched my match preview and my match day live, I told you that I don't expect anything positive out of this game. And I told you the best United can get from that game is a draw. And I was really shocked when I've gone ahead to see people coming out and really feel so much sophisticated, agitated, and thinking that United was obviously going to come out and really see themselves really go to where they deserve to be, as the fans think. I was really so much shocked when people really had a lot of hope that Man United could go to Crystal Palace and obviously get the points there. Now, let me school you that for the very first time, we've gone ahead to obviously lose twice to Crystal Palace, right? Last season, if you watched us play, we had David De Gea in goal. Darlow was the right back. Luke Shaw, the left back. We had Varane and Lisandro Martinez in the central defense. Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes in the midfield three. Then Anthony, Rashford, and I think Weghorst plus Bruno Fernandes in there. Now, if you watch that game, it ended 1-1. That Palace side gave us headache when we had gone ahead to front our best team, and you know how it went down. Olise went ahead to obviously score a free kick in the dying minutes to obviously level it up. Now, if you're not having all your central defenders and you are having one who is really half fit in Johnny Evans, and you expect Man United obviously go ahead and really get a point in there, all even points, get serious. Get serious. Look at how many teams have gone ahead to play at Crystal Palace and struggle. I tell you, Arsenal went to Crystal Palace and won by 1-0, and it was Kai Havertz who went ahead to obviously score that goal. You get in the dying minutes. Let me try to bring you up to speed on how Crystal Palace really plays when they're really playing against the big teams that side. But that's when you people obviously come out and give respect to the side of Crystal Palace, and with the situation Man United has been in, and you expect us to go there and really win. Crystal Palace has just gone ahead to go to Anfield and beat Liverpool by 1-0. Did you get to know about that? Then, Palace, we are beaten by Spurs 3-1 at home, right? Chelsea beat them 3-1. I'm talking about at home. Arsenal beat them 1-0. Where else? Liverpool beat them 2-1. You hear the teams I'm talking about, some of the legit teams in the world that we're talking about that have gone ahead obviously the endful. Crystal Palace drew with Man City 2-2 away from home, and at home, how did it go? So you look at the teams we talk about that are really ahead of us on how they've gone ahead to perform when they're playing against Crystal Palace. So I really feel very much surprised when people thought that everything is going to go as you plan it. You get? Now, everyone is talking about Eriksen. I've been one of those that have gone to obviously blame him. But can I tell you, every player that is a variable wouldn't have gone ahead to stop us from really losing. Eriksen has been responsible for 2 goals that went ahead to concede in the first half. The first goal is out of position, and he fails to foul a player. He's not on a yellow card, but he fails to foul a player. When you look at the team of Man United and how we've gone ahead to play, it shows you that we were not really having a very good body language. The body language itself was like, all right, let's get it done like that. Eriksen, even if you watched my match day live, I told you, Eriksen doesn't start ahead of Amrabat, I tell you. But we all know that Amrabat is out of the plans of Erik ten Hag, and he's going to be really thrown under the bus. The same applies to Eriksen. You get? Now, a team standing like that cannot be the cause of us losing. Not only one player has told us that not only one player is the cause of us losing. Who tells you? Because even Casemiro makes a very bad commitment into that game. And even Kobe Mainoo just runs at Olise as he's not really running. You get? Because if I'm Kobe Mainoo, I really have to foul that boy Olise before he even gets into the 18 yards box area of Man United. You know, I'm trying to show you that the reason as to why you concede the first goal is Eriksson, but we had more other 3 players who played part into us conceding that goal. And the last person to blame for that goal is Onana. Ask yourself, Onana, the boy has just gone ahead to enter the 18 yards box area, and Onana was at his 6 yards area end. He was off his touch line and or his goal line, and he was on the line that ends the 6 yards box area. You know that box in the 18 yards box area? You know it very well. You know that box into the 18 yards box area. You know it very well. So that's what this guy went ahead to do. And I tell you what, that goal we concede firstly, it's all about Eriksson, failing to foul Olise in the middle of the park. Then Casemiro selling himself out. Then Kobe Mainoo failing to obviously track down that guy because he ran like was not running. Then Onana, 4 people, their name was written onto that goal. I tell you, it's not that Eriksson is bad. We all know Eriksson was not running as is Eriksson is the same Eriksson that played here last season. But we are having a very discombobulated team. If you can't have your your central defenders available, you have no chance to claim to really win. Let me give you an example. Last season, I'm having an Arsenal fan here known as David Sozi. Last season, Arsenal lost one player in the names of William Saliba. He was out of that central defense. They brought in Rob Holding and Jakub Kivio. How many games did Arsenal lose out of the last 10? I tell you, Arsenal lost like 5 games and they won, I think, is it 3? And they drew, is it 1 or 2? Because they lost one central defender. Now, if I'm to ask you, what is the best centre-back pairing of Man United? It's Lisandro Martinez and Varane. Have they been out? The answer is yes. Now, I go ahead to ask you, what is the second choice centre-back pairing for the club of Man United? It's Lindelof and Harry Maguire. Have they been playing? Have they been available? The answer is no, they are all injured. What is the third choice pairing of Man United? It's all about John Evans and Kambuala. You get? Have they been available? Kambuala has not been available. Only John Evans has been ready to play, but he was all half fit. You understand? So, if you look at all that, and you come out and really put the blame to the manager, I want to blame this manager when he's really having his players back. We saw to it that at the beginning of the year, when he had them back, we went on to a very good winning stretch. And I wonder why people really forget easily. I tell you, the first goal has the hallmarks of 4 players written onto them. After Eriksson making that mistake, Casemiro comes in through, he sells himself there. Now, who has to really stop Olise? It's Kobe Mainoo, who fails to even stop him, such that we obviously get what we call a foul, and get a free kick. Then after, Onana, for the first goal and second goal, Onana had to do something, because for the second goal, it's Eriksson again. It's Eriksson again. You get? Eriksson loses possession. He runs. Matete goes ahead to outrun us and hits that ball at the near post. And you ask yourself, where was Onana going? Onana was off his touchline again. So all those 2 goals, the first 2 goals, Eriksson is the orchestrator is the architect of us really conceding those 2 goals. But Onana would have gone ahead to do better, because I don't really see a goalkeeper being beat at his near post when he has gone ahead to come out of his goal line. You get? Why do you come out of your goal line in the first incident? That is the hugest question that I want to pose. So, don't come out and say, Eric Ten Hag out. I know you people are going to be there. But ask yourself, is Eric Ten Hag the problem? Is Eric Ten Hag the problem? He's not. Can I count you players that have been out of action? You know, Lisandro Martinez, Varane, Camboala, Harry Maguire, Lindelof, Luke Shaw, Malacia. Those are 7 injuries. We go to the midfield. You get? We go to the midfield. You don't have Bruno Fernandes, right? There is no Marcus Rashford. There is no Anton Martial. You know, we are having close to 12 players out injured, and people are coming here yapping to the manager. Guys, the manager that you want to sack and replace him is wanted by a side called Bayern Munich, one of the elite sides in football. So, can't you really understand that you're having a very good manager and he's having one of the horrific seasons ever? You get? I told you when I was doing the match preview that don't expect anything from this game because we are having injuries. You know, with Harry Maguire available and Evans available and Bruno available, I told you the best we can is a draw. When I saw Harry Maguire out on Sunday and I did that video, I told you all what we should play for is respect for Man United, not to get annihilated. I said this. When Bruno got out, that is totally out of this game of football, I was like, you people, we are done. Because Bruno can create a moment of magic. You know, he can hit a ball from anywhere. He can really release a player from anywhere, and it turns out to be a goal. But all that was not really given attention to detail to. That's why most of you are here quarreling. But who went to this game of football expecting a positive result? Who? Unless otherwise, you've not been on planet Earth and you've been on Mars, you understand, and you've just gonna hate to obviously arrive here. But if at all you've been here, watching exactly what is happening at Man United, and you know exactly how we've been looking, even when we had better players around, you get? These players cannot run. The only solution, I've told you, is that get these players out. Can you get these players out? I've always told you. You get? Get these players out. I tell you, if I'm Ineos, after all these games, I think they now know what to do. I read a story yesterday that Jason Willox always sits with Eric Ten Hag to see to it that every morning they sit at Carrington and obviously plan for the game of football at Man United. Now, if you are Eric Ten Hag, Jason Willox, the technical director, Omar Berada, the incoming CEO, Joan Cloud, the acting CEO, this is written all over the wall. As they said this, that they said at the beginning of this week or last week, that all players are not immune for an exit from Man United, apart from Garnacho, Kobe Mainoo, and Rasmus Højlund. I get that broom and I sweep. We need a shake-up. We need a clean-out. Casemiro needs to go. Varane, I think for Varane, because he's going to go as a free agent and he won't obviously make profit as not to register a loss, I could sit Varane down, negotiate a 2-3 year contract with him on reduced wages, keep him here and let us sell him next summer such that we don't lose him on a free. But if at all he clings on to earning that amount of money that he wants, I let him go for free. Harry Maguire should go. Lindelof should go. Casemiro should go. Anthony should go. Scott McTominay should go. Rashford should go. Eriksen should go. Sancho should go. Donny van de Beek should go. Martial should go. Those are how many? 10, right? So we should see close to 10 players leave the club of Man United and then reinforce. Because if I'm to keep Onana, Bendeir, Dalo, Malacia, Luke Shaw, Lisandro Martinez, Varane, Camboala, Kobe Mainoo, Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho, Ahmad, Rasmus Højlund. You get? Those are 13 players. You understand? if we are to keep 13 players around, all we need is to go in the market and really get in serious players, because if those players are sold, we can get in close to 200 million pounds, add that money to the already existing 100, we can really see ourselves really improve a lot. With 300 million pounds, you can reinforce and really get in some good players. You get, for example, Todibo, 40 million pounds, and you get in another central defender for 40 million pounds to join Varane, Lisandro Martinez, and Kambwala. You'll be having a set of 5 central defenders to obviously play for in the due course of the season. On the right back, you get in Frimpong for 35 million pounds. You get, that is how much? That is like 120 million pounds, meaning that you're still left with 180. In the CDM area, we need 2 players that can do the CDM role. One who is really elite for like 60 million pounds, then like Zubomendi, you get, and you go in for another of 50. That is 111 million pounds. You've gonna hit to reinforce that midfield with 2 CDMs, because Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Mainoo, they can play as 8s into that team in the double pivot alongside any of those 2. And those 2 that you bring in can also play together, because, for example, if you get in Paulinho from Fulham and Amadou Onana from Everton, do you know what that equals to? A very perfect double pivot, meaning that Onana can play as a CDM alongside Kobe Mainoo, or else Paulinho can play alongside Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes, name it. Then you go on with your 70 million pounds left, and you get in a player called Olise for 60 million pounds. You're left with 10. That 10, you can use it to get in a striker who can come in through and really back Rasmus Højlund throughout the season. That is it. That is it. That's what we should do. And for everyone who thinks that the manager is the problem, he's not the problem, because I will reiterate the words of Sir Jim Ratcliffe. He said, the manager is not the problem here, because they've gonna hate to bring in every type of manager, and this team has gonna hate to fail. He said, the problem is at the hierarchy or the topmost at the club. That's why all changes that have gonna hate to be made in a drastic way have gonna hate obviously start up at the helm of the club. And guess who have gonna hate to leave? The CEO has left, Matt Judge has left, John Matt has left, the negotiators have left, and very many others. The chief finance officer at Man United has left. Very many people are leaving the club of Man United. And I tell you, before you go to the manager, you have to first create a conducive environment for even the other manager who's going to come in through, find well to work in through. So, I want us to be realistic. Let's be realistic. For everyone who says that Erik ten Hag should be sacked, can I ask you a question? The best manager in the world, you know him very well. He goes by the names of Pep Guardiola. You think Pep Guardiola would have gone ahead to do miracles today with that team? You think Arteta would have gone ahead to do miracles with that team? You get? No way. No way. This team needs to be rebuilt, and we need what we call a very huge clear out as a club of Man United. For everyone who still thinks that the manager is the problem, then you haven't been here at Man United. You get? You haven't been here at Man United. Every manager who comes in through in the first season performs very well. He takes us to the Champions League. That is it. The manager takes us to the Champions League. You get? The next season, what do the players do? They implode. That's what they do. They implode. Now, the board and the players have gone ahead to act as a problem at Man United. Because, why is the board the problem? The board failed to bring in Frankie de Jong. And Frankie de Jong wanted to come into Man United, and the board failed. Darwin Núñez was supposed to be at Man United. He was never brought here. Then, afterwards, when United had lost 2 games consecutively against Brighton and Brentford, I don't know where they got the money from. Because in just a space of 1 week, Man United spent £70 million on Casemiro and £86 million onto Anthony. because we had lost. Pressure was really piling up. You understand? So that shows you the incompetence of the board. And our budget added up close to 250 million pounds spent into that summer, because when you add on the amount of money, 150, add on the 56 million pounds we paid for the man himself, who goes by the names of what's his name, Lisandro Martinez, that is 200 million pounds. Add on the 13 we paid for, that is 220 million pounds that we spent. But where was the 150 million pounds placed? Sorry, where was the 150 million pounds spent in the final week of the transfer window on Anthony and Casemiro? Where was it? Where was it? So that shows you the incompetence of the board, because for any competent board, they have to get 90% of the players to the manager in the preseason, such that those players integrate into the team. This summer transfer window, Ten Hag told them, I want Kim Min-jae. You get Kim Min-jae, Otodibo. Guess what they did? They went ahead to sign in Mason Mount first before they brought in Kim Min-jae, Otodibo. Now, why are we suffering? Are we suffering because we lack a number 10, or we are lacking central defenders? We are suffering because we are lacking central defenders. Okay, Kim Min-jae went to Bayern Munich. What of Todibo? At 35 million pounds, we couldn't finance that deal. So, all what you're blaming the manager for is not his fault, because he told the board, sell Harry Maguire and get me another central defender. They failed to sell him. Sell Scott McTominay and get me another decent midfielder. They failed to sell him. So, this is what you should know. Ten Hag is not the problem, because don't forget what he did last season here. He did wonders. He finished third, qualified for the Champions League, won a Carabao Cup, played in the FA Cup final. You get? And even he never had the players that he wanted. You get? He expected Frimpong to come in through in January. He expected Cody Gakpo to come in through in January of 2023, and he never got none of those players. You get? So, for everyone who thinks that Ten Hag is the problem, then looks like you haven't been supporting Man United for the last 10 years. The manager has not been the problem. The problem is the board, because this board has failed to obviously put up what we call the bare minimums for someone to be the player or the player of Man United. If you put in those bare minimums right, you will get in players who are really modern. Do you remember what Ralf Rangnick said when he came through at Man United? He said these players have what we call ancient minds, and they are not modern playing footballers. You understand? They are not modern playing footballers, and he called for an open heart surgery. What does that mean? That out of the players we had at Man United, we have to see close to 10, 15, 16, 17 leave. And so far, we are having the residues that are really here. For me, Rashford should leave, Casemiro should go, Maguire should go, Lindelof should go, Scott McTominay should go, Anthony should go, who have I forgot? Wan-Bissaka should go. We are having close to 10 players to get out of that club. And it should happen even before 30th June, because we need to get in money, such that it accounts for the summer transfer window that you are going in. That is it. So we should obviously see ourselves perform better, and we should see these players really leave. I'll be the first person to come here and tell you that Erik ten Hag should go if at all he fails to thrive under Ineos. I'll be the first person. Clip it, store it, you'll see what I'll tell you. If Ten Hag fails, I'll be the first person to come out and tell you that Ten Hag is going to have to fail us. He should leave. He's not a good manager. But I tell you, with what is happening at Man United, Erik ten Hag is an elite manager that needs to obviously be given the better services that he deserves to see to it that he goes ahead to thrive as a manager. What have the stats been like for the club of Man United versus Crystal Palace? 18 shots by Crystal Palace, 7 shots by Man United, 10 shots on target by Crystal Palace, 2 shots on target by Man United, 42% ball possession by Crystal Palace. Man United took away 58%, of the possession. I've always told you the lion's share of the possession doesn't matter if you don't kill off your chances, and that's what really went ahead to happen in there for you. Then 430 passes completed by Crystal Palace, 591 passes completed by Man United, 81% passing accuracy by Man United. Then obviously the side of Crystal Palace went ahead to see to it that they really gather. Crystal Palace gathered 81% passing accuracy. Man United gathered 84% of the passing accuracy. Then 12 fouls by Crystal Palace, 8 by Man United. You see to it that a team that was winning fought more than Man United. They lost. United lost the second balls to Crystal Palace, and we are not fighting at all. Then we had 8 fouls by Man United, 1 yellow card to both sides, 0 red cards to both sides, 2 offsides to Crystal Palace, and 1 offside to the side of Man United, and 6 corners to Crystal Palace, and 2 corners to the side of Man United. That is it. Then we go to the table and how it's looking, on how Man United have gone ahead, obviously do a very worst job to stop themselves from obviously qualifying for the Champions League, because Aston Villa is dropping points and Man United is also dropping points. Now, Arsenal 83 points, Man City 82, Liverpool 78, Aston Villa 67, Tottenham Hotspur 60, Newcastle 56, Man United 54, and then Chelsea is having 54 points too. Man United is 8th onto the Premier League table, and that is really worse than how we expected it to be, because we can't really compete. And if we don't get defenders back, I tell you, we might even finish 9th. We won't even play. We won't be even playing in Europe. That is it. We won't even be playing in Europe, because the side of Man United is really looking weak, because if you don't have a central defense, there is no way you build what we call a strong team. I've gone ahead to obviously quote very huge managers. Jose Mourinho said, every team goes ahead to be, every strong team is built on a very good back five. Back five, he's talking about the goalkeeper, right back, left-sided centre back, and the right-sided centre back. That is it. If you're building a team, you have to start with the goalkeeper and the back five. That's what people are really missing out on. So we are really looking ugly, and we are taking on Arsenal on Sunday this week. I tell you, was it 2010? Was it 2010? 2010, 2011, when Man United went ahead to beat Arsenal by 8-2. If we happen to line up like that and not have any other defender return, Arsenal is going to take us for a ride. You get? It's gonna be a one-way traffic, and Arsenal will come up and really put up close to 7-6 goals past Man United. If you look at how Arsenal plays and how they attack, if they come in full pelt, they are gonna annihilate us. I tell you, Arsenal is gonna destroy us at Old Trafford, because we are lacking defenders. We are lacking defenders to obviously defend our game of football. That is it. Twino Mugisha, oh my God, what can I say here? All right, Sick Entertainment and Hag also to be blamed. Don't we have the academy players who can play in defense? We would have picked one and the midfield to protect. This was total rubbish. I tell you, if you had one who was really decent, the manager would have gone ahead to do it. Remember, he brought in Kambwala. You remember? And Ten Hag has always said, an academy player needs to deserve to start into the team of Man United. Not because that we are missing out on players that we should just get out one and really throw him into there. No way. Yasmin, not him can survive in out. Siva Onye Aradi, you've seen what Ten Hag does. How can you use Ericsson instead of Amrabat, and you let Ericsson do play 90 minutes. I tell you what, I blamed him on that, and for that he takes the fault. But ask yourself, is Ericsson the only player on the field of play? You mean we conceded 4 goals because of Ericsson? You get? I've gone ahead to give you the entire flow of that first goal. You know, we had 4 people that could stop that goal from coming in through, but they all really went ahead to really let that ball in. You get? So, I don't really understand why we always go at this manager, because the season is done and these players are not good enough like you think. You get? Even Amrabat, their games, they've gone ahead to bring him on. Has he shown that he's really that kind of player that we bought? Ask yourself that question, because if Ten Hag starts Amrabat if Ericsson starts ahead of Amrabat, that shows you that Amrabat has gone ahead to drop off. There is a huge drop off of this guy. Let's all admit. Happy Chris, already that's not an excuse. This bunch of players should be sold off, and if you keep them next season, don't deliver anything. That's my stance. I've already told you that we should sell these players. You get? We should sell close to... How many are leaving on a free? Anton Martial, even Varane. The rest, we can get some huge money from them. For Casemiro, we can get like... If you sell him to Saudi Arabia, you can get like 40 million pounds. You know? Lindelof, you can get like 20 million pounds. Harry Maguire, you can get like 30. Now, that is already like 90, selling those 3. Bissaka, you can get 30. That is like 120 million pounds. Go to Ericsson, you can get like 5. All right, 130. You go to Scott McTominay, they can get you like 40. You get? I think if there is a best time for us to sell Scott McTominay, it's this: 40 million pounds. That goes to 170 million pounds. After that, you tackle onto Marcus Rashford. You can get like 60. That is 200 million pounds. You go to Anthony, get like 30. You know, sell him and put in what we call a sell-on clause of like 20%. You get? That is it. That's how we are going to thrive. Sell players, get close to 20 million pounds. Sell those players, get close to 200 million pounds from those players. You get? And the rest will be history. Get in other players. We need a sweep out of players. Alfred Ken Nyibigira, they have got what they deserve, but these players, however much they have a problem in defense, and they can't release. At least only when Amrabat gets in is when I've seen them playing. Amrabat put in a very good shift. He put in the energy. He chased that ball left and center. He was fighting. I tell you, you have players who fight like that. Even if they are not talented, they can put up a show, because Crystal Palace does that. They don't have quality players. The quality players they have for me that I'm going to hit to see is Eze and Olise. That is it. David Sozi, Rokani. Also, Arsenal is going to beat you. Swear upon the living God, Rokani. I told you. Who tells you that I tell you Arsenal cannot beat Man United? The only way United can obviously get a go at Arsenal is when they get another central defender back to partner Johnny Evans. But if it's going to be Casemiro in that central defense with Johnny Evans, and Ten Hag brings Ericsson in that double pivot, we are done. We are done. Arsenal will really go us easily like a hot knife through butter. Can Kizire Ronald tell you already the team is full of rubbish? I'm sorry to say. Yeah, they are rubbish. They are rubbish. And those players should be sold. That is it. They should be sold. Silva Onyait. Guys, Arsenal is coming to us. I don't know what to say about that game. Arsenal is going to revenge to us of the 8-2. It's time ready to receive. I tell you, because the best thing to do when you're playing Arsenal is to obviously even change the system. Compact that midfield. If Scott McTominay is back, get in Scott McTominay, get in Amrabat, put in Kobe Mainoo. You get? The front three, Garnacho, Anthony, and I think Rasmus Højlund. That is it. Happy Chris, let's all believe that Bruno had been there for us this season, because we have all seen it when he's off the pitch. But even if he's on the pitch, what happens? You think we haven't gone ahead to lose games? Do you remember the game of Bournemouth? You know, wasn't he on the pitch? We lost 3-0 at Old Trafford. You get? Fulham beat us by 2-1. He was at Old Trafford. So I can line out the goal we considered against Chelsea, the fourth one. He's the man who's supposed to close down onto Palmer, and he stays there. Guys, I'm sorry to say, if I have a chance to sell Bruno Fernandes, I sell him also. I sell him. He's going to clock 30 in September. And do you think he's going to get better? I don't think so. Alfred, all the back four, including Onana, was very worse today. Have you seen how Bissaka was playing? Bissaka was really trash. Bissaka was trash. Dallo, Casemiro, no, they are not in the game. The entire team was really looking ugly. The team was really looking ugly. Idrissa Kamara, I didn't know what Man United was playing. No one knows. No one knows. No one knows. Happy Chris, guys. Just take them, because what I've seen, the remaining 3 games, the best we can do is a draw. We can even lose all of them. We can lose all. I told you, if we can see Lisandro Martinez and Luke Shaw back for the game of Newcastle and Brighton, I can guarantee you Man United can collect more 6 points. That is it. But going to that Arsenal game with that central defense, we are done, I tell you. We are done. Blessed Lars couldn't get some kids from the academy to play instead of these useless team. They are not worth it. That's why you sort of eat that. Whitley came on for Rasmus Højlund, you know. But you have to deserve to play into the team. I know Ahmad is a very good left back, but you cannot throw into a youngster into a game like that when he's a defender. You know, he'll get humiliated and you might really destroy his entire career. Then Don Michael, and I hear people saying sack the manager. Clueless. Yeah, everyone who says sack the manager, you haven't gone ahead to be supporting Man United here. I will tell you the manager is always a problem. Red Devil Studio, Onana is bad, but we can't score goals. Yeah, we can't score goals, my brother. We can't score goals, and it has gone ahead to obviously orchestrate out again that we've gone ahead to concede 81 goals in all competition this season. Very worse. We last did that in the 1970s. That's when we last conceded those. But even how they pass through us easily like that, it's really shocking. Can consider Ronaldo, I prefer the academy team to these guys. Not really. The academy cannot come and really do the needful as you think. If at all there was any elite player in that academy, would have gone ahead to show up today. As Kambwala showed up, Fosun Omari showed up, and very many others. CK Entertainment, so predict what will happen on Sunday. An annihilation. Baptism of fire. You get? If you have to line up, like we've lined up today, however much will be at Old Trafford, Arsenal will have to put 4 past us. Another 4 will go past that central defense, I tell you. Happy Chris, Aradhi, what would be the cause of injuries at United? Obviously, the cause of injuries, I've gone ahead to read out on a story that was aired this week, that even the warm-up ground is also bad. It has gone ahead to result into causing injuries to very many players of Man United. Then, the other problem at Man United that causes injuries, we lack a fitness coach. Ten Hag called in for a fitness coach, and they never gave him one. So that's why we're really having no fitness coach, and you cannot get surprised when you're really getting in goals and injuries like that. Silva Onyeyit Aradi, let me ask you a question. If it was you to give you a chance to be a Man United manager, please let us, how many players would remain within the team? I would keep Onana, I would keep Dallo, I would keep Varane, I would keep Lisandro Martinez, I would keep Luke Shaw, I'll keep Palacia, I'll keep Kobe Mainoo, I'll keep Garnacho, I'll keep Amad Diallo, I'll keep Rasmus Højlund. I would only keep 10 players, and my list could have Bruno leave, Rashford leave, Casemiro leave, Maguire leave, Scott McTominay leave, Anthony leaves, Martial leaves, Maguire leaves, Lindelof leaves. I could sell 10. I could sell 10 of those players and they could leave this side. Then David Sozi, for sure, coach is not the problem, Rokani, but players and injuries. But if you bring same team, you'll see Arsenal. But sorry, man, for Man United, you've had that football. There is a loss or draw. By the way, for me, I'm not pissed. For me, I'm okay. I'm okay because I knew what was happening, you know. The moment we failed to win against Chelsea, Brentford, Bournemouth, you know, and Burnley, I just got this season behind my back, because I need to eat that. If you cannot collect those points when you need to obviously do the needful, then what? What do you expect? What do you expect? Blessed players, do you have money to buy players, or you sweep all of them? You sell players, you sell players and get in money. And it's high time you went ahead to accept a rebuild at Man United. Like Sir Jim Ratcliffe told you that we need 3 years to build a project that will compete like you saw it at Arsenal. By the way, Erik ten Hag is doing even better than Arteta in his first 2 seasons at Arsenal. And Arsenal fans were like, sack Arteta, sack Arteta. I want to see those Arsenal fans who used to say that Arteta should be sacked. Can you say the same thing again? He ashamed you and proved you wrong. So, even Erik ten Hag is going to do the same. My friend Thomas Docker from Ghana, since Alex Ferguson, we kept changing coaches, but no results. Erik ten Hag is doing the best he could with lazy, overrated, and overpaid players. It's time to drain the swamp and get rid of these players. Thomas Docker, thank you for admitting that, because all along, you've been one of those who have always gone ahead to say, Erik ten Hag is the problem, he should be sacked. Now, welcome to the table where we are all admitting that these players are the problem. Thank you for admitting that. You go ahead and sit down and ask yourselves, who is the problem? The problem has been the board. The board has been resolved. Now we should really tackle those players and get them out. The deadwood should be thrown out. As we're going to hate to say that we should drain the swamp. Let's drain the swamp, and then only the cream de la cream should stay. Those who don't have to be staying here should leave the club of Man United. Even Rashford should go. Bruno should go. I tell you this, we should get young players that have what it means to play for Man United. Silva Onyayet, guys, the season is not ending. I'm tired of crying. Every day Man United is playing. All right. The season is going to end. But by the way, if our players are back, we can beat Man City in the FA Cup final. That is it. Rafael Varane will be back. Lindelof, Luke Shaw will be back. And we might put up a contention with Man City. Kakinziro Ronaldo. But let's not forget that Højlund is a real flop. Who tells you he's a flop? He has 8 Premier League goals. 8 Premier League goals in his first season. And out of the goals, he has gone ahead to score, because he has gone ahead to score 5 in the Champions League. He has gone ahead to score 8 in the previous 13. Then he has 1 in the FA Cup, right? He has like 13-14 goals this season as a player. And out of all those goals, I think 3 are only assists from his fellow players at Man United. That is it. So you call him a flop, and he's not getting service. He's one of those players that hasn't gone ahead to get enough service from his fellow players. Because look at Haaland, he gets like 5-6 chances. He averages like 3 or 4 chances per game. This man averages like 1 chance per game. You get? He's not a flop. He's not a flop. Blue Monday, £1 billion. United lose again. All right. Kakinziro Ronaldo, and we need a serious and sharp striker. You cannot talk about a serious and sharp striker when the one you are having is not being fed. All what we should do is we should get another striker such that when Rasmus Højlund is injured, the other one can come in through and play into. And then to provide competition to Rasmus Højlund. That's why I recommend Benjamin Šeško to come in through the club of Man United. Then I'm having Penev Gupta. Ten Hag is paying good money for his what? I don't understand. Paid channel. All right, thank you for watching through. Then Happy Chris. If I'm United board, the players to remain at the club next season should face salary deduction. No. You take 10 or 12 players out. That is it. Tibai Juka Robert, sorry our friend Aradi. I was on your side, but things goes wrong way from Aradi channel. So, guys, not until we get rid of those deadwood players, we aren't going to thrive. Those players should leave because they don't fight for this club anymore. They don't fight for this club anymore. Then we have we have Blessed Lays Rokani. I would recommend you to listen to Mike Owen comment about Erik ten Hag. I've gone ahead to really see Mike Owen talk about Erik ten Hag, but I tell you, those people are just biased. They never wanted him here. You get? And he ashamed them last season. Now, they want to be proven right that he's a shit manager. But do you agree that Erik ten Hag is a shit manager? How can a shit manager be wanted by a side like Bayern Munich? Ask yourself that question, contemplate about it, and get me the answer. Mike Owen, to me, I don't even take him as a very good analyst. That is it. For any analyst who comes out and really slates the manager, let him come out and give us facts on which team that has ever gone ahead to thrive and have a very good season with 50 injuries in a single season. That is it. Tell me that team. And not having fullbacks, central defenders, midfielders, you get? Let him come out and really give me those stats. When he really gives me those stats, if the team exists, I'll come out and really admit. Kakinziro Ronald, I don't wish to see Man United in Europa League, in Europa Conference. We better finish 10th. I also don't want us to be playing on Thursday in the Conference League. Why should we? Why should we be playing in the Conference League? David Sozi, Rokani, according to me, I see this boss for United. How can you give coach 100 to spend in the summer? Transfer also, I see this going to be a problem in sending on players. No, players, we have players that we can sell and get in money. For example, it's not only going to be 100. Jordan Sancho can fetch in 50 million pounds for Man United. If you sell Rashford, you can get in like 60. That is 110. If you sell Casemiro to Saudi Arabia, you can get like 30. United will raise like 150 million pounds from sales. And we have to admit that players like Scott McTominay should leave the club of Man United. Teams can get us 40 million pounds for Scott McTominay. He has gone ahead to get in like 7 goals in the Premier League. Teams will be eyeing to get him in. So we should log him off. So thank you very much for watching through. That's what I had for you tonight. Thank you for everyone who's been part of this. But good night. Because for me, I'm going to sleep well because I expected this. I never anticipated a win. The game of Burnley went ahead to obviously do me bad. But finally, we are here and hope you guys are doing fine. Good night and see you when you see me. Thomas Donko, when it comes to chances created this season, United is 10th on the table. So how can you blame Højlund? That's the same thing I was really telling, it's called Blue Monday. There is someone who said that Rasmus Højlund is a flop. And I told him, no way. Look at the stats. The guy, Kankizé Ronald was calling him a flop, and it's not a flop because he got in all that he had to do and get him the chances. We'll score you goals today. Has he gotten any chance? The answer is no. So the team has lots of problems, and you cannot come out and really blame the manager. Go out and go to the Super Sport. Look out onto the overlap. Gary Neville interviewing Erik ten Hag. Gary Neville had very many questions, and Erik ten Hag left him satisfied because he gave him what he never thought about, and he told him the truth. I want whoever pundit who thinks that Erik ten Hag is the problem to go ahead and face ten Hag. Ten Hag will give him stats, and he'll be amazed, and will be like, all right, this manager is right. I tell you this, Ten Hag is going